Well, 303 rushing yards for you guys. I know an emphasis coming into this week, considering that they'd struggled against the run.
Yeah.
What did you kind of see that opened up things? And then obviously Wayshawn, the longest TD run by a Coug in 18 years.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. I know the biggest thing is they did some different things, both offense, defense, special teams than kind of what we planned on the last couple of weeks. Took us a little bit to get going on that, but we knew we could be physical up front. And, without watching the tape, I'm just really proud of our offensive line. That's the next step, the domination, the run the ball, and to stay with it tonight. I thought Wayshawn caught a rhythm. I thought Leo caught a rhythm offensively, and that opens up everything else. And then, John was really efficient. So it was a good offensive performance and really happy with what we went out and did.
Noticed a couple of the reverses with Kyle, kind of using him to kind of get into the run game as well. Is that kind of a wrinkle you guys are trying to add into the offense, using him a little more on the jet sweeps?
Just when you really studied it over the bye week, every time the guy touches the ball in a short space, he makes something happen. So gave him a couple of deals there. Obviously the reverse, just some quick screen games and stuff. And I thought Kyle had a great night.
On the onside recovery and then the pass interference on the fake punt, what were you told as far as like on those plays?
There was some situation. There was a batted ball later as well. That was an interesting situation you don't see every day. So what was the first? The onside, they said we blocked before the ball went 10, and I did think it, when we practiced that deal, it went a little slower than what we did. Dean's normally nails at that thing, and it was just kind of a bang-bang play. The punt deal, if I'm being honest, we teach the guys that there's no pass interference on a punt play on it, and he said it was too low to be simulated as a punt. I was more upset that they had the ball in the hands and they created an eligible late by stepping off. It's deception. It's illegal. So there's a bunch of different things at play there. My point was they've kicked 3 low line drive punts. Right, so to say that wasn't high enough to simulate a punt to me wasn't the right call, but I will send it in, and I'm very anxious just to see the explanation on it, to be honest with you, so I can learn a little bit more about the game.
You mentioned John's efficiency. How much did you expand the playbook for him for this one, or kind of where did that kind of come from for him?
No, I think it really does come from Greg running the ball, and it's now we're 2nd and 3, now we're 2nd and 2, now we're 2nd and 4. And just having those abilities to attack in different ways. And I think that opens up everything that we want to do. I thought he missed some progressions later in the second quarter, and then I thought he had a really, really good second half.
Coach, this just seemed like a pretty complete performance. What were you most impressed with tonight?
Our competitive energy. Yeah, I really was. I thought we were ready to go. It was our best warm-up in pregame. And those little things matter. And we were ready to attack. There wasn't any hesitation. Our guys were flying around. I loved how we came out of halftime. We emphasized that like crazy. To get the big run was really a tempo setter for us. So that's what I loved about this team. We're built for this. We are. We're built for this run. One at a time. You remember November. We're off to a fast start. We're 1-0. I thought it was a really good performance by our team tonight.
I guess you did kind of touch on it, but disregarding, I guess, stats and the score and all of that, what was your goal for this team kind of coming into this game, and do you think that they achieved that today?
Play a complete game. I think that was our biggest emphasis over, the last 12 days or so, was just making sure, we get our best out there. And there didn't feel like there was that lull. I thought our guys kept competing. Obviously, they have a challenging scheme, and they can do a lot of different things. So to see our guys play complementary football, too, to see, we gave up a touchdown, the offense gets it right back. There's some things there that we're going to need to lean into. But as always, there's going to be tons of things we can learn from this film. This team is not satisfied. They're not done getting better. And that's the mark of mature competitors. So that's what we need to continue to have.
You talked a little bit about Kyle's performance, 3 touchdown catches today, career high for him in a game. What was it, I guess, just about him, his overall performance, that was allowing him to be even more of a weapon kind of in those red zone situations than he has been before?
Well, I think Kyle's had a great season. He has, right? We haven't always connected on some targets and some little things like that, but, he's a tough cover, and he can do a lot with the ball in his hands. So I just think when you have a dynamic offense, sometimes you got to take your turn, and it was Kyle's night. Chris Hudson has had his night, and Carlos has made some big plays, and Wayshawn, that's part of being a mature offense. Is sometimes this guy's going to hit his due from whatever look. And, next we need Chris Hudson to have a big game in New Mexico. And just all that stuff's got to be put together. So, that's what we look for, and I think that's just what it was. It was Kyle's night, and he went out there and made some great plays.
And then just at the safety position, a couple, little bang-ups there, and then it looked like Leighton even got in for a play there defensively. What did you sort of see from that group, the resiliency of them, and where do you feel like you're just at with that position?
We're just a little banged up. Jackson has a shoulder, Boogie has a shoulder, Tyson has a hip pointer. It's just one of those things late in the year that, those guys got to keep battling through, especially Jackson and Boogie. They'll take some hits, they'll go down, and they'll come back. So we got to get, that group healthy. And obviously Capenna made a big play that was much needed at that point in the game after the punt fake. So, we'll keep going to war with whoever's ready to go, and it will be a little bit of a rotating, match at that safety position.
Haven't had back-to-back road games in about a month, and with such a strong performance here at home, sort of what can you do to continue this being in hostile environments in a couple weeks?
Just stay in the moment. We're going to celebrate this win. It was a good team win, and we just got to stay true to what got us here. New Mexico has the extra day of preparation on us again, and we got to travel down there, another night kickoff. So our mentality this week was be the hunter, not the hunted. We know these teams are hunting us, but we're not going to allow ourselves, just to be hunted. We got to play aggressive. That was part of the onside kick. Play aggressive, go to win, not be afraid. Go out there and play our style of football. So that's what you got to see as we keep finishing, and it's tough to go on the road and win. We talked about that a lot in here. So our guys got to be focused, and we got to be determined to go out there and play a game just like we did tonight.
Defensively, obviously, you look at Utah State's offense, they've been able to throw it all year, but you guys go out there and hold them down to, I believe, just a little bit over 200. What did you see from your just whole defense and just specifically the defensive backs and being able to contain that?
I could have done without that last one there, Sam. I'll tell you that. Other than that, I thought we did some good things. I thought they came out and gave us a bunch of different stuff. All the closet formations, the tight formations, the motion, that was just a small piece of what they did. So we'll have to look back and see why they liked that so much. Same thing. Defensive communication needs to improve. I thought we finally got to the quarterback a little bit towards the end and got him rattled and got some big fourth down stops. So I would love to see him go out there and close the door, maybe a little bit more firmly, but that'll bring us back to work on Monday, ready to go.
Some guys in particular, first Capenna with the pick and Budo with the fumble, then also Goose gets his first sack. Just what did you see from some of those guys who stuck out through the night?
That was amazing. That was Goose's first sack of his career, he said. Right, so he's been a disruptive force. You can't always – the sacks, they got a bunch of holding calls in there. I thought our tackling for the most part was pretty solid, and we got to continue to work on those things. But overall, it was a good defensive performance. Like I said, you just want to see him go out there and close the door at the end of the game.
Coach, you've always talked about how important it is in these last few weeks where you guys have won these back-and-forth games, but how important is it to also get out early and never trail after that and really kind of control the pace of a game like you did tonight?
Yeah, just like I said, the competitive energy, it just felt right. It felt right in the locker room at halftime. It felt right, even when we were up 21-7, guys were like, let's go knock these guys out. Right? That was the mentality that we needed. We need to go out there and be hungry for 4 quarters and play a complete football game. And that was what we were looking for, and I think that's what we saw. Like I said, I was like a little bit stronger in the fourth quarter, just shutting it out. But every time we needed an answer on offense, those guys went out there and did it, and they stayed focused, they stayed fast, and we were definitely aggressive tonight.
For me, what does 8 wins mean to you?
It's hard to – I don't like to think about the big picture too much until the end. I really don't. I thought this was a big win. We needed this. Off of the bye week, just showing that we're focused, that we're determined, that we can go out there and handle a little bit of the noise and just stay true to who we are. Like, I thought it was a big win tonight, just for our team and our maturity, right? So we'll look at the big picture, sometime when the season's over. But right now, we're 1-0 in November, and that's a big deal.